And we've got 48,650 sats.
Oh, wow.
Or $50.
Wow. This is hard. It shouldn't be, right? I think I'm going to do the $50.
The $50 in cash.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Oh God, dude, that's new. Oh, soon, dude.
Holy
That's soon. Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you're brand new to Bitcoin, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com to grab your slot in the studio today. I'm your host, Stuart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin laser eyes.
And I'm your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, Bitcoin smash buyer. We're at 1,000 subs, people. It happened last night.
Whoa. Hey, can we do this into the mic real quick? Amazing.
We're at 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a live show. So by the time you see this episode, we will already have done our first Friday live. It's a little foolish of me to tell you to tune in to Friday because it'll be Monday by the time you hear this. But by then, you'll know that we've announced a new giveaway.
Oh, boy. We're chaining together giveaways, dude.
Whatever you do, it's still going to be worthwhile to go ahead and smash that subscribe button because here at Sat Chats, we always got something special for you guys. So
you might have missed the Million Sats giveaway, but just stay tuned and subscribe.
Ooh, we'll leave it there. Now, we march to number 99, Kristen, the beloved Stuart's wife.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to be coming on live now, I guess, right? She's going to come on live. You'll be able to witness live Stuart's attempt to convince Kristen to let him push further into the Bitcoin world. So Friday, at some point in the very near future in June, we're going to be having Kristen on. In the meantime, we've got lots of lovely ladies coming in to help Stuart train.
Yes.
And today's one of those days.
Yep. So training for number 99 and Kayla, number 68, right? No, number 68, right? Because this is 67.
Yeah.
So Kayla is number 68. That means we're 31 episodes away from my wife, number 99. And Kayla is going to help us train in our expected environment, which is wonderful wife who needs to learn more about Bitcoin so that we can buy more Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be getting Kayla's questions today. We're going to be answering her Bitcoin questions. And I feel like her eyes are narrowing, dude. She's getting ready to, she's already suspicious.
Very suspicious
of us and our motivations here. But we're going to be chatting about sats with Kayla. And we're going to be announcing something a little kind of interessante here at the end of the show as well, aren't we?
Yeah, never been done before.
So before we do, help our satillionaires out there get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah. So I'm Kayla, my husband and business partner. We are wedding photographers. We've been wedding photographers for 12 years. And we also are founders of a photography collective, the Pearl Collective, which is a group of people, very exclusive community that we've partnered with to do life and business with. And so there was nothing really out there like that in the photography industry. And so we made it. And so that's kind of what we do and where we are.
To do life?
To do life, yes.
What does that mean?
I mean, whenever you're an entrepreneur, isn't business life? It intersects so much. We love it so much. This is what we do. So we decided to build a community around that. It's really incredible. We love them more than anything.
So it's almost like not only are you working together to be a collective of photographers and videographers and that kind of creative space, but The people who join need to like mesh with your family unit and your
Absolutely.
kids and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we want to help everyone grow in their personal, financial, and business goals. So being close and making sure that we are all a good fit is really important to be inside of the collective.
So that's dope. I didn't know that about you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That feels like the cyber Middle Ages that we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
where things decentralize and break up into smaller units that are like not necessarily tribal, but you're aligned through your values and interests. You know what I mean? So like the different families that make up the collective are all in they're all together in that space.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that feels tribal,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a good thing.
Or cult-like. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, or cult-like.
Or cult-like.
No creepy robes are here, I promise.
It's the
No,
Pearl
no.
Collective, actually.
Collective.
You just say it fast enough, it sounds like collective.
Actually
So
does.
what other aspects of life besides professional endeavors are you collectively sharing?
Well, I mean, the mission to grow the business, but also the mission to grow our legacy, because I'm a mom of 4 kids. And a lot of the photographers that have joined the collective are either moms or they want to have kids later. And so to be able to build something that they love creatively, but also is profitable, and they don't have to leave home and they can still, be home with their kids and not have to go work a regular 9 to 5, very unconventional way of, parenting. Because a lot of times moms will have 6 weeks and then they'll go back to work. And then, it's really hard. It's a lot harder than people talk about to have to leave your newborn. And that was something that I just couldn't do. And so, whenever we moved to Raleigh and we had our first son, Reg actually got laid off of his job 8 days after Elliot was born.
Wow.
And so it was the job that we moved here for. We bought a house. We, put all of our savings toward this move. And 8 days later, they're like, hey, you got to move to Asheville. And we're like, we can't. There's no way. And so long story short, they gave him like a whopping 1 month severance package. And we decided like we have to take photography and run with it, or like we're going to have to get regular jobs. And that's not what we wanted to do. And I didn't want to have to go back to work. So that was kind of where that started for us. And fast forward to now, we've had a lot of people reach out and they're like, hey, I'm trying to build this business. I'm struggling. It's, I've been doing this for 3 years and for some reason I'm stuck and I don't know what it is. And so that's kind of where we've come in and be like, hey, we're willing to partner with you if you're a good fit. We're willing to partner with you and kind of help you see outside of the box that you're currently in, because we've been there. And so to help them move forward quicker and be able to be there for their family, build that legacy for them.
Wow, that's great.
And for the Satchillionaires out there, Kayla's husband is Reggie. Reggie is... Have we talked about the documentary?
No,
Okay. Is that something we're keeping behind closed doors or no?
I don't think we need to.
Well, we're shooting a documentary about this show, y'all. And we're shooting basically a more informal documentary about the documentary. It's getting real. There's
Document everything.
It's like,
Why
yes, yeah.
If you're starting a business today,
Yeah.
document everything.
Plus, Sat Chats is built like Bitcoin. We did a short stack on it. And one thing that I realized recently about our documentary and about us documenting the documentary,
Right.
is that Bitcoin's ledger is public.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Bitcoin has ever done since the beginning of all Bitcoin time is available for you to inspect. And Sat Chats is built like Bitcoin, baby.
Yeah.
So absolutely everything we're doing is available for you to inspect, and I love that.
Yeah.
But Reggie is super businesslike, and he texted me the other day, and he said, "Good morning. It's time to work. Give me a phone call when you're able."
Whoa.
And I texted him and said, and my corporate scars were triggered. And I said, am I missing a documentary shoot? Was there something, did Abel's not put some on my calendar? Like, I got triggered. And then I called him. I said, dude, I feel like I'm in trouble. And he's like, oh, I just have that. It's just how it's like. And he told me the story of some guy he used to work with. And just Reggie's business-like demeanor made him feel like he was like about to get fired or like go under review. So Reggie's real business-like.
Very much.
And this collective of yours after today, not only are you guys going to be helping people out with their, photography and videography, helping them out with their goals, you're going to be teaching them about the best money. Am I right? It's
Absolutely.
like, look, if you're coming into the collective, which money is your money?
Right.
Let's talk about that. Okay.
I have so many questions about that because it's very exciting.
So let's hear them.
Really? Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we know who Kayla is now, right?
Let's first, in service of the collective, how do people find the collective if they're in Raleigh or in North Carolina, or you may even travel more broadly than that?
Yeah, we have photographers in different states, so we're kind of all over the US, which is really cool. But Instagram is kind of where we hang out mostly, so it's at Pro Collective Photo. And then you can find us at Reg and Kayla Photography on Instagram too.
So how much do you know about Bitcoin?
As much as your 10-minute YouTube video explained on the way here.
Yeah, so let's test not only whether our content was any good at getting up to speed, but also whether or not it was presented in a way that you could retain. What did that video teach you?
Okay, so I walked away with understanding that Bitcoin is a digital money, digital currency. It can be, oh my gosh. It's not controlled by any one person. It's controlled by the folks who have adopted it, I guess I should say. And it is only rising in value, which is really interesting for me because right now it seems like invisible money. So I'm really excited to chat about that. And also learn, like, my husband and I, we like to do things that haven't been done before, or something that is, if there's a risk that looks like something that might have promising, like a promising outcome, we're always interested in hopping on that train early. And so I don't know of any other businesses that are using Bitcoin to pay their employees or to offer that as like a benefit for their employees. So how to do that in a way and what that kind of would look like.
That would be elite.
It would.
Yeah.
And selfishly, for my own purposes here on the road to number 99, it sounds like the two of you work closely together to make decisions that include risk. Finances for a married couple is an important thing. And many marriages or, partnerships can be made or broken through consensus around finance.
For sure. Yeah.
So husbands and wives that can't get their act together financially, that is a huge reason for divorce. And husbands and wives who can get together and make choices together, that's long, strong action. And with Kristen, I know when we bring her on the show, we will have to entertain her risk tolerance, which I think is low. And you're saying right here that you and Reggie take risks together. So how do you converse with one another? How do you approach a decision that includes risk? And, do you both have a high tolerance for risk? Are you different on the spectrum and you come together? How do you all operate?
I feel like we're very different in that way because we're very I actually mentioned this to him not that long ago, but I'm like, isn't it like a really cool thing that we don't disagree on a lot of things that one of us wants to do? Like being full-time wedding photographers, there was never like, oh, well, that might not work out. So maybe we should do something a little bit more, normal. Yes, because our family still, for the longest time, they didn't think we had real jobs. But anyways, but we've always kind of been on the same page with that. Even kids, number of kids, we've always been on the same page with that. Finances. If I want to go on a trip, he's like, okay, great, let's go on the trip. And then we'll look at that together. And so we've always kind of been on that same wavelength throughout our marriage. We also share finances. I know that a lot of our friends don't, but that is something that we do. And we're, we respect each other in that way, but we make these decisions together. And I think that we have a very open line of communication of if he wants to spend money on something or he wants to invest in something, I'm all ears. I know that his intentions are only for what is good for our family moving forward. And he would never, I would never not trust him in that way. And so to be able to listen to him, understand, hey, this is where he's coming from. This is something that he's passionate about. This is something that he believes in. I would always want to sit and listen for that. So.
Must be nice to be a good guy your whole life. I'll just say that
She
right now.
trusts it.
Because, yeah.
She trusts it.
Everybody watching this show is not going to understand why Kristen is so suspicious of me,
Yeah.
and they won't be
What
able
did
to
you
know.
do?
Well, it's not something that we can share on the show, unfortunately, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that great of a dude, you know what I mean? For a long time. So, poor Kristen she has to inspect whether what I'm doing is good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what you and Reg have is trust.
Very much so. Well, we
know?
basically grew up together too. So, we started dating right after I graduated high school. He's a couple years, 3 years older than me, but we basically grew up together. I'll be 30 this year, and he's really old. I don't know how old he is. No, I'm just kidding. He's 33. But he likes to rub that in my face a lot. But anyways, we basically grew up our whole learning how to be an adult. We walked that together and grew in that way together. And so I feel like that's where that came from for us.
That's awesome. So you said that you got some questions about Bitcoin. I think one of them was it's always going up, but it's not real, or it's not tangible.
I'm just not in the world. I don't know
Yeah.
where it is. How I know that there's a wallet that you sign up for and you start, but after that, I'm kind of lost. I don't know. I know that you invest into it and that goes into your wallet and all of that, but after that, I'm just then what?
Yeah, well, let me see if I can hear that question real quick. You understand that Bitcoin is digital money.
Mhm.
You understand that you get it from somewhere and you put it into your wallet, but you're not sure what happens after that.
Right.
Well, here's what happens after that. You go get more Bitcoin and you put that into your wallet.
Okay.
That's it. The name of the game is to stack sats. Stay humble, stack sats. Each Bitcoin breaks down into 100 million Satoshis. Same way each dollar breaks down into 100 pennies. So you can see right here on that second line, sats per dollar, 973. See on the left-hand side?
Mm-hmm.
So for every dollar, you can get 973 Satoshis or sats, right? Named after the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. So nothing happens after that, right? You just get more and more and more.
And build the wealth that way.
Correct. Because there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, there will always be more US dollars.
Right.
Why will there always be more US dollars, Kayla?
They just keep printing the money.
They just keep printing the money.
So it loses its value.
And so it loses its value.
And then there's inflation.
And then there's inflation. That's literally it.
Yeah.
They keep printing, so it loses its value, and then there's inflation. Because if I'm a merchant and I know there's 1,000 units of currency floating out there, and my fish is worth 2 of those units, because those 2 units are going to go get me my loaf of bread and stick of butter. And I know that my freshly caught fish is worth the amount of bread and butter I want. And there's 2 units in between there because the bread guy doesn't want my fish. He's a vegetarian, but he wants my money. When the person controlling those units makes another 1,000 units for no reason, then my fish, it isn't worth 2 units anymore. I need 4 units for my fish, because those 2 units aren't worth the same amount of that network they were a second ago. So when the thing that you're calling money is just kind of coming out of nowhere with no real effort, it's worth less to me. So I need more of it from you in exchange for my thing that's real.
Mm-hmm.
So you're absolutely right. When you print the money, you decrease its value. So you make everything more expensive.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel to work your butt off for a form of money that someone just makes for free for themselves as much as they want?
Yeah, it makes you kind of nauseous, right? A little bit.
I mean, that's not cool.
No.
Why do they get to print for free what you and I have to work for?
Someone's in power, someone's in control. Whereas there is no one of that nature in Bitcoin. It's who can,
Perfect.
it's who has it.
Yeah.
The people who have invested
I
in
mean,
it.
it's centralization versus decentralization.
Yeah. Mhm.
The dollar's centralized, Bitcoin's decentralized.
Right. Fair playing grounds.
It, and shout out to Simple Steve on this one, but it's almost like our dollars, also called fiat currency, is distributed centrally, right? Like going to YouTube to find all of your videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Bitcoin has no issuer. It is decentralized and comes from nowhere and everywhere all at once. It's like the English language.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we all use, something that we can all add to and take away from, but nobody controls the English language. Someone controls YouTube, someone controls the US dollar. No one controls the English language or Bitcoin or gold for that matter, technically. So,
well, the people who control it are the ones who use it and hold it.
Yeah. And hold it over your head. I mean, think about like employers, like they are able to boss and tell people how they can live their life and whose family is more important than someone else's. And it's because they're under someone's, employment. Same way with, I feel like, regular money, your everyday money, someone controls it. They're able to tell you what to do with it, where to spend it, all of that. And with Bitcoin, and then even like making that on the same plane as like being a creative entrepreneur, no one gets to tell you what to do. You get to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bitcoin. You can do what you want to do with it. You can spend it where you want to spend it and live your life the way you want to, not the way that it's controlled by what other people think you should do with it.
So that's an interesting concept because entrepreneurs and Bitcoin demand responsibility in exchange for your freedom. If you make the wrong choices as an entrepreneur, you suffer the consequences. If you make the wrong choices with Bitcoin, same way. If you were to, for example, decide that you want to buy a car with Bitcoin and you sell off $5,000 worth, and it turns out you didn't need the car and it wasn't worth much. Well, 10 years down the road, that was a $1 million car that you bought, actually. So was that the right decision? Are you valuing the things that you buy correctly? Because with Bitcoin, when you buy it, the amount of money in fiat terms you spend for that thing is only going to go up over time. So memories with your family seem pretty good, right?
Yeah.
$12 worth of garbage from the aisle that they force you to walk through at
TJ Maxx or something.
Seriously, just to check out, you have to walk through 500 to 600 items.
Yeah.
That are all $3 or less. And you're like,
and it's a little bit of everything. It's like, oh, I didn't go down this aisle. There's food, there's notepads, there's socks. It's like, what is this? So you have to get one of everything.
What am I doing buying a bag of Doritos at TJ Maxx? What in the world am I doing?
It's a different
Why am I
flavor.
snacking?
It's a specialty flavor. It's very elegant.
Yeah. I'm like, what am I even, first of all, what am I even doing here? This place smells bad. I don't like it. It's junky. But then to go through the, get a Dorito and a Coke. What am I doing here? But with your fiat currency, if it gets stolen, they just put it back, right? And if you make wrong choices, you could put it on a credit card and pay it down over time. There's ways that system will kind of prevent you from mistakes having that big of an impact on you. With Bitcoin and with entrepreneurialism, you take all the risk.
There's no safety net. That's the thing.
Right.
It's a mindset shift.
Yes. But you also get all the rewards.
Right.
Over here with employment and with fiat, you have some guardrails,
Yeah.
With fiat, you can do the credit, or if you get hacked, they put it back. With employment, they're like, okay, well, you were drunk on the job today, but here's a quick warning and you're still employed. So you kind of learn less responsibility over here and more responsibility over here. But the money that you make in employment over here, it's like putting quicksand on top of quicksand because you'll never make enough over here to really get out ahead unless you find something stunningly incredible that helps you get way out in front. But most employees don't.
There's a cap. There's a ceiling.
Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
usually the owner of the company or the entrepreneurs that do.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who are the worker bees, they're just working for a form of money that someone else can make for free that's buying them less and less and less over time.
Yeah.
So for entrepreneurs, is Bitcoin the best money?
Is that a question for me?
What do you think?
From what I know so far, I lean towards yes. I'm still learning, but like I'm willing to see what the risk looks like.
And let's imagine an employee in today's world who's been working for 12 years and has steadily grown their salary over time. Maybe has a 3-month emergency fund saved up, but not much beyond that. Maybe a retirement account where they're just putting in enough to get the company match, but they're way behind on where they need to be to actually retire.
Mm-hmm.
When their boss says, "Where are you?" How are they going to react?
Yeah.
Even if they're doing something right, like working, they might be like, "Oh, I'm right here, boss." You know. And by the way, am I describing myself? Probably in that scenario, right? And when Reggie texts me, "Good morning, it's time to work," I'm like, "Oh, yes, sir." But let's imagine I had worked for 12 years and the money I was setting aside was Bitcoin, not US dollars. And already at the 12-year mark, the Bitcoin I had been putting aside, just as I would the money over here, has grown and grown and grown and grown to where actually I don't care whether the company employs me or not. I'm just working to get more fiat money to buy more Bitcoin. When that boss says, "Where are you at?" How am I going to respond to that?
Very differently.
"Oh, I'm right here, bud. And I'm working on this, this, and this. What can I do for you?" Right? So you have dignity over here on this side and the ability to, even as an employee over time, become more and more sovereign and more whole as an individual, because you have money that's full of holes, money that is whole.
I mean, if you work for and earn in fiat currency, someone who's financially savvy understands that as soon as they earn those fiat dollars, they need to, as quickly as possible, convert them from the depreciating asset that they were paid in, which is the dollar, into an appreciating asset. As quickly as you can make that conversion, the better off you're going to be when it comes to retaining the value of your earnings. And let's see. I think you understand that Bitcoin is cash. It's peer-to-peer digital cash is what it is. You did use the term invest in Bitcoin. And I just want to make that point clear, that a better way to think about what you do with Bitcoin is you're converting a bad money into a good money. It's like an exchange. Like if you go travel somewhere and you have to exchange into the currency of that country.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, except you're just exchanging dollars, bad money, for Bitcoin, which is good money.
Gotcha. And the transactions are through folks who share Bitcoin, who both have that, correct?
Well, yes, and generally there's an exchange. If you're just trying to buy and accumulate Bitcoin, unless you have a friend that you know who owns Bitcoin who's looking to sell their Bitcoin, which you probably don't. If you know somebody with Bitcoin, they probably want to hold on to it. So you would go to an exchange, and the exchange would help facilitate that transaction.
Just like the kiosk at the London airport, where it's like, "Hey, come bring me your US dollars and we'll give you pounds." So we did used to think about Bitcoin like we were buying something and like it were an investment, because it only goes, I mean, how can you not? People are like, "Hey, the price of Bitcoin's 50,000. The price of Bitcoin's 75,000. Price of Bitcoin's 100 grand." You're like, "Wow, this thing's going up." Bitcoin hasn't gone anywhere. Bitcoin has always just been Bitcoin, but it's so valuable that you need more and more and more US dollars to get some for yourself. So we do think of it like money, and you're just exchanging easy money for hard money.
But here's do you do any investing currently?
I think we do. I don't I'm the free spirit and the creative. Reg handles all of that.
Yeah. So I mean, you do, because you're investing in
Yes.
yourself, you're investing in your business, you're investing in your family. But investing in the traditional sense, okay? So if you were to go see a financial advisor right now,
Which we have. We have.
they're going to 9 times out of 10 direct you to assemble some sort of portfolio that will probably earn you somewhere between 7 and 10% on an annual basis.
Mhm.
You put in $10, you keep your 10, and you get another 7 by the end of the year. And when you look at that and you adjust it for inflation, as reported by the Federal Reserve, you might say, oh, 7% is what I earned. The inflation rate, according to CPI, is 2 to 3%. So I just made 4 or 5%. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. But then when you look at inflation as measured by the increase in the actual money supply, like we were talking about earlier, how much money existed at the beginning of the year, how much money has been printed and now exists, that inflation rate is more like 7 to 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So really all you've done is retained the purchasing power of the dollars that you started with.
Right.
And that's if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you have a financial advisor. And if you don't, the purchasing power of your dollars went down. And that's the scenario for, I don't know, what percentage of Americans? I have no idea.
I mean,
It's
almost
gotta be-
every
it's-
single
it's-
one that invests is
No,
investing in a.
I'm saying the people who don't. How many people don't
Oh.
even have the luxury
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
investing?
Mm-hmm.
They're getting crushed.
Yeah, they're living day to day.
That
paycheck to paycheck.
makes me absolutely furious
Mhm.
because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in the CPG. CPG stands for consumer product. Consumer packaged goods, right? I need strong consumers.
Mm.
I need a strong middle class. I need people to be able to afford a good, to be able to make a good choice, right? When it
Mhm.
comes to the food that they eat.
Right.
If we're hollowing out the middle class selfishly, like that's not good for me. And I have a problem with that.
Mm.
You know, so, and maybe that's a selfish approach, but it's not good for anybody. It's really not. So, that's what lights me on fire when it comes to Bitcoin, because there's a solution, and
Yeah.
it's Bitcoin.
Get that.
What are you trying to, because all that's good, and it's great that Bitcoin is a better form of money. And it's great that it's so much better that people think it's an investment. They're like, this thing must be an asset. It's like, nah, it's just money. But, that isn't going to be enough emotionally to connect you to a place where when you're done chatting about sats with us, you're going to go and get some more for yourself, right? Like we need to get you to the point where you see that Bitcoin is the key to what you're trying to do in your life, right? So let's talk a little bit about what you're trying to do in your life. Like, where are you trying to go? What do you want? What's that roadmap for Kayla?
Can you paint me a picture of how it would work? So like for me, I really value experiences and times with my family, my kids. I want to be able to give them something that I didn't have growing up. And so what does it look like if we wanted to take a very extensive vacation in the next 6 months? What does it look like to be on this side of Bitcoin at the very beginning and how to get there?
Okay. So are you asking if how to maybe power a family holiday 6 months from now by adopting Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with Bitcoin, I mean, if you wanted to power a 6-month holiday, I would calculate how much that holiday is going to cost you in fiat terms. Let's just say $10,000, okay? Because you're going to go to the Sandals in Turks and Caicos, because I think that's the kid-friendly version of that resort, right? So you're going to fly everybody down to Turks and Caicos, and you're going to do all that thing, right? So $10K. Bitcoin over the next 6 months will probably go up because that's all it ever does.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to a volatility disclaimer here in a second. But literally, if you wanted to try it, you could just make like Chris, smash buy maybe $6,000 worth of Bitcoin right now. And by the time your holiday shows up, that 6 might be 10K. And then you exchange it out for fiat and you pay for your vacation, right?
Cool.
So you would just get into Bitcoin, watch it go up, and then sell it and go on your vacation.
Okay.
Now, it's also possible that you'll get in at 6,000 and then by the time your vacation comes, it ain't 102K. It's like 90. And you're like, dang it, I got $5,000, not $6,000. And that's why we like to go real low and slow with Bitcoin. Your short-term expenses, just save up money for them.
This is a long game.
This is a long game.
Yeah.
Long game. It's only been around for 16 years. And it won't even be done issuing all coins until 2138.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about generational wealth through a better form of money. And if it's too hard to think about Bitcoin as money, just think about it as a rock star asset. It's like the greatest, best investment ever of all time. You can buy any amount of it. It's not like you need to save up for a down payment on a home to become like a landlord, like Robert T. Kiyosaki. You can buy any old amount of it. Only thing it ever does is go up over a long enough period of time. And you can take all your hard work and drive it into Bitcoin so that you can buy junk later when you want it. Instead of being like, thinking that all you need is $1 million to retire. And by the time you get $1 million, you need $4 million. And then you're like, dude, this sucks. I guess I have to be the old person that bags groceries at Trader Joe's. And everybody's looking at me like, oh, this dude didn't make good choices over the past couple of decades. Poor dude. Like, you don't want to be that person, right? So, you could power your holiday in 6 months for sure. There would be some risk there, but it could happen.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It would be better to buy a little bit each month or a little bit each week and continue to learn more.
Yeah.
Do $50 a month, or, if you and Reg can stand at $50 a week, and over the next 4 years, you'll be wearing your own pair of prescription sunglasses, guaranteed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you see it in action, oh my gosh. And you'll be able to power unlimited memories with your kids and grandkids after enough time. Because the value of Bitcoin is so great that the amount of US dollars that you will be able to buy with your Bitcoin will just go higher and higher and higher and higher. And maybe eventually you won't even need to buy dollars with your Bitcoin anymore. You'll just spend your Bitcoin directly because everyone will be like, yeah, I'll take Bitcoin for this.
Yeah.
They'll be like, do you want this right here? Yeah. 1,000 sats, dude. You can just take it, right? So, powering memories for your family. That's something I think about as well.
Yeah.
And you can't do it with dollars that are just melting ice cubes.
Right. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, right?
So what other questions do you have? Or do you feel like we answered that question?
No, I think you did. It actually brought up another question that I have personally. So my father-in-law, he has 6 grandkids now. 4 of them are ours. But he is looking at opening 529 accounts for all of his grandkids. He hasn't done that yet, but would you say that Bitcoin is the better, I'm answering my own question, but would it be the better investment at this point?
Well, if your father-in-law is looking for a good investment, then this kind of tax sheltered 529 investment scenario is great because you'll put it into the marketplace. You'll get your 7 to 10 some odd percent, and it'll be a tax-free situation, and that'll be great. Now, by the time your kids get to be college age, there's not going to be enough money in there, even growing it over time, because college won't be $35,000 a year. It'll be $350,000 a year.
Yeah.
But for a Bitcoiner, it won't be 500 Bitcoin a year. It'll be 5. And actually, by that time, it'll be like 1 million sats, right? So if your dad-in-law wants the greatest investment of all time, then I would advise putting the same amount of money he would put into a 529 into some Bitcoin.
Don't worry about the tax shelter.
Yeah.
It's the best performing asset over the past 16 years. 16 years in a row. 16 years in a row. And I heard this on another podcast. I was listening to Checkmatey on the What Bitcoin Did podcast, and he pointed out that since Bitcoin trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year without ever shutting down, if you map that to the number of hours you can trade on the stock market, which is like 9 a.m. to 4:30, Monday through Friday, if it's not a holiday, then Bitcoin has been on the stock market since 1942.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
That is
funny.
insane. Here goes Bitcoin just power leveling. Just
It doesn't sleep.
It's it literally every 10 minutes. When you see this green light flash up, they will have added a new block to the blockchain right here behind this clock. Every 10 minutes, Bitcoin is proving itself over and over and over and over and over in plain sight for everyone to see.
Yep.
Never opens, never closes, doesn't hide anything, never stops, nothing. But we want to put our money into a company stock that trades 20% of the time. The amount of time on the stock market compared to the amount of time in a week is 20%. 1 out of every 5 hours, you can do some junk on Wall Street. That's stupid. I can send data from my smartphone 24 hours a day. I bet I can't send data to y'all, but 20% of the time, boo, lame. So, you might be a free spirit, and we got to figure out how Bitcoin helps free spirits, right? Because as a free spirit, what do you want to be able to do? Anything you want, whenever you want?
Yeah. The freedom.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Because guess what? Can you do anything you want, whenever you want, with your father-in-law's assets or your own family's assets on Wall Street?
No.
No. Can you do whatever you want, whenever you want, with your US dollar?
Not really.
Not really, because what if you're in Mozambique? What if you're in Mongolia? What if, as a free spirit, you say, kids, we're going to go to Chile and just hike the mountains? Unless someone's like, yeah, I like US dollars.
Right.
Then they don't work there. And that's kind of a bad example because so many people like US dollars that they will take them. But if you were living, for example, in, a North African country with its own little currency, I mean, that sucker ain't accepted outside of those borders. But Bitcoin is on at all times. And it can technically be accepted by anyone directly. And you don't need any permission to do so. So even though it's not really there yet because we need to do more work here having conversations with people, technically, literally, metaphorically, philosophically, allegorically, Bitcoin can go from any one person on earth to any other person on earth. So you can do whatever you want with it whenever you want. You can buy it, you can sell it, you can store it, you can spend it.
Very flexible. A lot of more freedom with that.
Yeah. You don't need anybody's permission to do anything on Bitcoin. How does that resonate with you as a free spirit?
No, it makes a lot of sense. And it makes me want to slowly start stacking it to be able to have what I want later. I mean, it's the same thing with like 401ks. Like, people put so much money into those so that they can do what they want to do later. And then if they want to do something earlier, they get penalized for it, even though it's their money. And so that doesn't make it's really never made sense for me anyway. But this makes a lot of sense. It definitely has changed the way that I think about it in that realm. So I appreciate you explaining it that way.
It really does restore my faith in my ability to delay gratification effectively.
Yes.
Because what I was doing before Bitcoin was Not delaying gratification at all. And again, trust, problems. Number
This is where it
99,
comes
poor
out.
lady. God, Diesel, dude. Just listening to how much she loves and trusts Reggie, I'm like,
Oh, no.
oh, such a piece of girl.
Oh my gosh.
Dang it. You know what I mean? Dadgummit.
Mhm.
But, you know, if I were able to delay gratification before Bitcoin and set aside my hard-earned work in the form of this kind of money, then when I came back to it as an old man, it wouldn't have even got me the dang thing that I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 90s, because I'm a little bit older than you, I was like, all I need is $1 million and I'll be a millionaire. I'll have infinite money. But I just saw the other day, the American dream now costs approximately $4 million. So I need quattro what I thought I needed, right? And if I delayed all gratification until I had $1 million, I would look back on my life and go, dang, I wasted my life.
Right.
Because I don't even have what I thought I needed. But Bitcoin restores my faith in the ability to set aside not everything, but just some, and have that still be there when I'm ready for it. So there is a lot more to Bitcoin than just digital money, delayed gratification. Is it actually an investment? You know, being able to do things around the clock, free spirit. There's more to it. And you can see right here on that, there's way more to it than we'll ever be able to fit into a single chat about sats. So we do ask each of our guests if they'd be willing to come back on in 9 months to give us an update on their Bitcoin baby. Would you be willing to do that for us, Kayla?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love that. And I think we'll be able to go even deeper when you come back. And we'll be wanting to know, well, what have you learned since then? Have you stacked any? How do you feel about it now? What are you and Reg doing, etc. Right? We want to see, part of what we do on the show is we want to document over time the impact Bitcoin has on people, especially those who come in like you without Bitcoin. Then we bring you back on in 9 months, then 18 months, then 27, and we want to watch your laser eyes come online, start blasting everything, right? So we're going to make you an offer. We're going to offer to stack your first month of sats for you, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, we're going to take a little break. But before we do that, my guy Reggie wanted us to talk a little bit about a brand new sponsorship here on the show, right? Ithaca Hummus founding sponsor, but it sounds like we have our second sponsor on our hands. Kayla, do you want to tell us all about it?
Sure. So the Pearl Collective has decided to contribute a Polaroid camera so that anyone who comes on the show can take a Polaroid picture with you guys, and they can have that as a keepsake, as well as another copy here for the Welcome Center.
I like that. Hold that Polaroid up for the camera right here. Let's see what that was. Yeah. Check that thing
So
out.
cute.
That's sweet.
Is that a modern one or a
It
vintage
is,
one? It's a
yeah.
modern one.
It's a modern one, so she's cute.
That. She's cute. Okay,
She's
what's
cute.
her name?
You can name her. What's her name?
Okay.
Should we give it to the Satillionaires?
Should we give it to the Satillionaires? Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So Satillionaires, in the comments, take a look at this little cutie patootie over here. Let us know what her name is. And the best one will be what we call her.
I love that.
So the Pearl Collective is sponsoring Sat Chats through this Polaroid camera and through, the film as well, right?
We're all about an experience.
It ain't digital.
Nope.
Yeah. Documenting our digital chats about sats with some analog photography.
Love it.
So that'll be a lot of fun, and we'll put the amount of sats you get on it. We'll sign it. We'll start doing a little wall back here. So we love the Pro Collective sponsoring us, and very on theme to be the photographer type situation. So let's take a little brain break here because we don't want you to make your choice on an empty stomach.
Okay.
All right. So you went ahead and pre-selected the Ithaca French onion hummus. Have you had this before?
Not this one, but I am an Ithaca fan.
Oh,
Die-hard Ithaca fan.
Okay. Love it. So this is let's see. This is going to be launching in Costco in July.
Is this a new one for you? Oh, cool. Okay.
It's newer. It's already in like smaller format retail,
Yeah.
but Costco's going to take it in July.
We love
It's going to
Costco.
be great.
Love
Costco's gonna
Costco.
gobble it up, dude. All right, so let's grab ourselves a fat glob here, and we'll all crunch it into the mic together. Do a little. Look at that little baby woven wheel.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, hang on. Let me get that fatty glob over here.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm. Mmm.
Wow. That's incredible.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Mmm.
I like it better than like French onion dip.
Whoa.
Or soup.
Yeah.
That's great. They're
Mm.
so good.
No soup for you.
So I can finally get what you're saying about that's a good batch, because that is literally the tastiest French onion dip I've tasted.
Yeah.
And we've done
That
French
is
onion
so
before.
good.
It's all fresh.
Something about them onions, man.
You do. Each time you could be tasting the best batch ever made.
Dude,
Every time. Because all the ingredients are fresh.
I love
this
that.
is like, oh,
like chips. You can do anything with that.
So good.
Oh, dude, I would do like a wavy chip with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
Mm,
That would be amazing.
So
Here we go.
here on Sat Chats, we believe in exchanging our value for your value. So as a small token of our appreciation, we're going to give you the choice between $50 and $50 in Bitcoin, which I'll calculate using the good old Clark Moody. I'm comfortable with it.
It's always up.
When we have the UTXO, it throws me off. I'm not quite used to it yet.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
This is comforting to you. This is home.
So
But we have to keep pushing. We got Bitcoin exchange rates outside your comfort zone, right,
That's
Chris?
true, that's true.
We have to keep pushing.
Hey, that's why I don't resist. But so we can see the sats per dollar here, 973 sats per dollar. Bitcoin right now is exchanging for $102,780 for one Bitcoin.
All right.
So I'll take that 973 times 50. And we've got 48,650 sats
Oh, wow.
or $50.
Wow. This is hard. It shouldn't be, right? I think I'm going to do the $50.
The $50 in cash.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! Oh god, dude, that's dude. Oh, soon, dude.
Holy
That's soon, dude.
Just
Because
a little satire. No, I'm just kidding.
oh, dude.
She planned that.
Oh, a
I'm just
little
kidding. I did.
satire. Holy smokes!
Are you okay? Do we need to get you something?
I'm hard.
Dude.
I am flush.
I literally lost hydraulic power to my limbs,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my arms and legs are like.
I was like, what?
Your crossed legs just like coasted.
Noodle mode, because you gotta understand, like we're still hurting from number 66.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, so too
and
soon.
you're
I'm
number
sorry.
68, and I was
Michael,
like, she's
Michael.
taking the cash.
What?
What?
What just happened?
Yeah, because there was a guy in the comments of number 66 who's like, man, I could feel the blow to the gut on that one. Like he could feel us getting a blow to the gut on that one.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
So thank goodness, dude. I literally.
That just took like a year off my life.
It did. It
I'm
did. It
sorry.
literally
Oh,
did,
no.
dude. I'm exhausted now, dude. I'm
I need a nap.
exhausted.
I need a
I'm
nap.
exhausted.
Oh,
Wow. And what poetry, because the clock lit up right then, nice and green, to let us know there's a brand new block. Okay. Hey, look. That cataclysmic, heart-wrenching moment was last block. It's gone, dude. We're on a new block, man.
True.
New block, new beginning.
Turned over a new block.
Every 10 minutes, you got a fresh start on life, okay?
That's right.
So we've got 48,650 Satoshis for Kayla. Thank you, gods of Bitcoin. That brings our scoreboard to 62 who have stacked the sats. And 6 who they get caught in your throat because you feel so strongly about them. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So we can't wait to have you back on in 9.
Very
See how
excited.
far you've come. That's going to be awesome.
I'm super pumped. I already have questions for next time too, so I'm excited.
And you'll be the first daggum Polaroid on the wall too, which I love.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Snibbity
yes.
snabbity.
Yeah.
This is the part of the show where we ask for your value in exchange for ours. What do we value? More YouTube subscriptions. I get that we hit 1,000.
And watch hours.
And watch hours. We do need to juice on the watch hours.
Yeah.
So hit the Sat Chats playlist. Just crush through that sucker. Okay?
Turn your attention to watch hours now.
Yeah. But still subscribe because you'll see what's coming next. You can also come on the show, satchats.com, to grab your slot in the studio today. And you should do that now because we're in May. June,
Full.
I think, is full. July has like 9 slots left, and we're already working on August. So if you're a little scared, just sign up now so that you can get your spot. And by the time it gets to you, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
We also need you to remember Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. See you tomorrow.